In December of 1773, a group of American colonists decided that they had enough. The British Crown was taxing them without representation.
Well, I think the high-level principle here is that we can't really have banks come in and try to kill their competition at the expense of the American consumer, right? People in America should be able to earn more money on their money. I think stablecoins are an opportunity for banks. They should be able to build great product lines with this. It's an opportunity for crypto companies. Congress and the laws that get passed, they should really create a level playing field and say, this is allowed, this is not allowed. Now, all American companies, go compete, try to build the best products and services. That's great. What's not great is if the banks can put their thumb on the scale to try to kill some of their competition, and they only pay about, 14 basis points on the average savings account. Consumers should be able to earn 3.8% on their stablecoin rewards. And so we're going to keep fighting for our customers' rights and the 52 million Americans who use crypto every day.
I mean, what would you say to the argument that banks have put forward that because of the role they play in the economy, the loans that they make, if they do wind up seeing billions of dollars, as some have estimated would happen going from banks to stablecoin, they say that could have a big impact on the economy. What's your response to that?
Yeah, well, banks don't have a monopoly on lending money. Actually, crypto is doing quite well in this area as well. And crypto is a technology to update all parts of the financial system, whether it's lending, capital formation, et cetera. So I think banks do play an important role in the economy and making these loans. Crypto should be allowed to do similar types of activity. We're not engaged in fractional reserve lending. That's an important point, by the way, because the bank license, what that really allows you to do is fractional reserve. The banks don't have all of your money there. That's why there's so much oversight and you can have these runs on the bank. Stablecoins have 100% reserve, right? And they're all the assets now post-Genius are held in this short-term US treasuries. So in my view, it's actually a safer place to store your money, and crypto companies should be allowed to compete and offer loans just like banks.
But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But the banks. But what about the banks? But what about the banks? But what about the banks? Surely you need to protect the banks, don't you? Surely you need to protect. But the I don't know what the hell I'm doing there. Let's go take a look at some charts here. 4-hour chart, literally doing nothing. This is what you call doing nothing. This was yesterday. Look, but on Monday we drew this arbitrary doodle extending out the 20 moving average, saying all we're going to do is oscillate back. Sure enough, here we are. We haven't really touched it. I was off on the where the 20 moving average goes. I underestimated it, I suppose. But we're still going to hit this. It would make sense to go under the 20 moving average. So let's extend this bull flags line out. That would be pseudo support. You can see it's kind of finding support on this. Ideally, I mean, this is Friday, right? So what we're gonna need to see is some price action movement, or we're gonna sit here all weekend long at 95.5. 95.5 all weekend long. 95.5 ad nauseum. 95.5 all weekend long, like we did last weekend. 90.6. It drove me to that stupid monologue that I made a video of yesterday. 95.5 Army Piper. Let's get on the horn and talk about that Kager video. I'm waiting for someone to poke a hole in it, because I just want to be wrong, right? So tell me I'm wrong. I want to be wrong on everything almost. I always want to be wrong. Life would be easier if I was wrong. in every aspect, life would be easier. So bullish outlooks for today. See where these eyes are. So listen, the bull market rejection zone. I'm just going to say it. We hit it. I mean, come on. You're listening to 95.5 WBCT, home of the bull market rejection zone. I'm just going to put it out there. We hit it. You know, we've been talking about this ad nauseum for, God, since September, really. Or no. What was it? No, since October when we crashed down. So even though we didn't hit it, this isn't like physics. This isn't physics. This is just roundabout. It's close enough, my friends. It's close enough. So, you know, watch this weekend. If we get this massive rejection from it, you will see the prophecy. How do I get out of these drums here into a piano? The prophecy will continue. The pianomattyb prophecy of the bull market rejection zone will be in full effect. If we see today price action just continue to tumble, right? We'll see this long ass wick, right? Nobody wants to see a wick that healthy in the bearish realm, if it were. Imagine comes all the way back down and all we see is just basically a cemetery filled with wicks. We don't want to see that. I mean, we need to close above the bull market rejection zone, 98.1. We need to close it. That would be the ultimate. It would give me more hope. It wouldn't change my mind about where we are in the cycle, so to speak, but it would give me more hope that maybe, just maybe, we could see some higher highs. Maybe not all-time highs, 2026, maybe. I don't know. It all depends. I mean, we're relying on fundamentals at this point because there's no retail. So there's no retail to pump fundamentals, but fundamentals can get the bots going. You know, it can juice the wheels of the bots with the fundamentals because it's like if you watch other channels, they'll always say, "Oh, this is a lettuce hands and weak hands selling." Like a bunch of dummies are sitting there going, "Oh my God, what happened in?" What did Jerome Powell say? He was hawkish. Sell my Bitcoin. Not happening. Those are all bots, right? They're just algorithmic quant traders. They're not even humans. And that's what we're seeing. So fundamentals will create some volatility, but it's not true volatility. It's not like retail returning. Now, this week was a pretty decent week when it comes to inflows. Like, well, let's 3/4 of a billy. Not bad. Another 3/4 of a billy, almost 900 million. And then yesterday, just to get little, this isn't yesterday. This is the 14th. What is it today? The 16th, 2 days ago. So this is generally pretty decent week. I mean, I don't think it reflects in the price action. You know, I think all these we haven't really hit complete coordination within the market. You know, buys represent, a higher price and a sell represents a lower price. I think it takes too long now. So it's hard to really put it's like a moving target when you're trying to suss out what are the consequences of this inflow. But maybe, like 1 week up, 1 week down, 1 week up, maybe next week is down. Is next week the FOMC meeting? Army Piper sold all my Bitcoin at 126, sniping the top. All my alts last Saturday, right in the dry powder. Perfect setup. Now over on the ding dong. Like I say before, every pattern is the beginning of another pattern. So this cup and handle pattern, it is a bull flag right here, but now we're in another bull flag. So let's just, we're here. I'm not drinking coffee now. I'm in front of the computer. I might as well draw some of these technical astrologies here. This is another bull flag. You take the point, you take the bull, you slide it out to the breakout point, and then we're all at 103. But aren't we at 103 somewhere else here? Yeah, see, yeah. They're all just, they make sense. They come running at you here. 103 upside there. Will we see 103? I don't know. If I were to have a heart-to-heart with someone about 103, I would probably say, you know what? I don't think so. That's what my heart would say. My mind would be a little more crass, like hell no. My heart would be like, I'm not sure. I don't know. It would take a lot. I mean, we're not that far away. Like if you think about it, it's not like 126. It's like, will it hit 126 again? My heart really says probably not. But when we think of 103, like, listen, this is how far we are from 103. 8%. 8% is nothing. We do 8% all the time to the downside. We do 8% on a daily, to the downside. 8% to the upside, well, that's kind of reserved for the legacy aspect of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin used to go up 8% in a day, that was nothing. Now it still moves 8% to the downside, any day. That's nothing. We could wake up today, the market could open and we could move 8% just like that to the downside, right? Let's see here. Where would 8% take us? 88.2. Woo. Talk about economic conniption fits. If we were back at 88.2. Now, I'm going to possibly go into check myself in at not only a substance abuse clinic, but maybe a mental institution if we come back to 90.6. Please. Economic gods, the chart gods, do not go back to 90.6. And just me saying that has almost secured it, right? Because in my egocentric life, I truly believe the markets just are here to wreck me and whoever's, in the fractal of my simulation, right? So be careful. Be careful if you align with what I say, because the whole universe is out to get me. Just joking. I'm just joking. Got to stay positive on this, right? But let's see. It's, a bearish sentiment. Getting back to this channel of Eternal Monotony's resistance now acting as support would make a lot of sense, because we went up here. Look at this. Was this 8%? Dare I say? 5%. Yeah. 8% is more reserved for the downside, right? So 5%, that's a decent candle. That's a daily candle. I mean, open to close is a little better, but we're just going candlestick to candlestick, open and close. And so how far away are we to retest this support? Not too far. We are a hop, skip, and a 3% jump down. I mean, that's nothing. 3%. It would seem crazy, right? It would seem unbelievable to see a 3% dump, but it really isn't nothing. It just it looks a little violent, but it isn't. It would make sure we should probably extend this out a little bit. She's getting a little. There we go. Do we need to do any other extensions? No, this is good. What about the weekly? Yeah. Well, this is all I'm really looking at. The bull market rejection zone in full effect. So we have engaged the gods of the bull market rejection zone. So it is in effect now, right? If we go back to my heart of hearts, I wouldn't have thought we would even come back to it. I was kind of thinking this was close enough way back here in November 17th, roughly a month after the mass capitulation event. But here we are, a full-on test of the BMRZ, bull market rejection zone. And now this is it. Now this is what we got to watch. Because if we can't close a candle above, historically, in all bull markets, when we come up against the bull market rejection zone, and we don't close a candle above it, we head into the nether regions of the crypto winter, right? Notorious BMRC. Oh, I switched it. I switched it to piano. This keyboard here isn't set up for like the Jimmy where I can just hit a button. You would think after 4 years I would have programmed it. It's not that hard, but I haven't, right? So now in order to switch back to the drums, which was fun to play and do all those raps, I'd have to go into set module, pick bank, right? I don't got time for that. We're going live here. And I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, we're going to go back to this bull market rejection zone. What would cascading back into, crypto winter really look like from here? If we're talking heart of hearts here. My heart of hearts does not believe it. Just like I didn't believe we would actually hit 98.1 or we'll hit 103. I honestly don't feel like we will hit a massive capitulation bear market. Now, it's funny to say this right now as we just engaged the bull market rejection zone. This is one of those crow eating aspects of life where you don't really want to say these things, especially when we just engaged it this week. So we have fully engaged the bull market rejection zone. Now, what would it look like? I think I have some targets here. I forgot. What the hell? So many arbitrary doodles. Oh, bottom of the bear market, 29K? Wow. I guess that would mean this mother of all head and shoulders pattern playing out. Yeah. So I mean, if we're gonna be doing technical astrology, that's how that would play out. Why does it say 56K-ish to 29K? No, this is 56K-ish. This is the head and shoulders pattern. Everyone's like 29K. But this is what some version of me said at one point. Why is that 29K? We'll just keep it there. This is like a weatherman doing the opposite. 56K would play out to, roughly the 200, because we would extend this 200 moving average, right? Come on. Oh, now it works as soon as I take my hand off it. Oh, holy smokes. Let's get this out of here. No, you got to be on the arrow to actually select the arrow. No. Oh, come on. Oh. Plus, it's like on a TV, so my refresh rate is slightly lagging. You can see all the problems with my setup here. Yeah, well, I guess it'd be higher, maybe in the high 60s. But you could see throwing a old-fashioned bearish wick all the way down. James on random, nope, 29K. Listen, if it's 56K, this is how I see it. If it's 56K, might as well be 29K. Like, don't give me bearish blue balls. If we're 56K, give me 29K, right? Don't just give me like kind of shitty. Give me the shittiest you got, because that's when the ability. Think about this. 29K. Let's just say it goes to 29K. Now, the reason why one theory why it could go to 29K is max pain, right? No upside, continued downside. That would be max pain. And if you take a look at the Kager video, which nobody really wants to acknowledge exists, and I understand why, you can see how, this might play out. But 29K, think about this. Think if you had $3,000, you could get 10% of a Bitcoin, right? When, in order to get 10% of a Bitcoin now, you need $9,500. Now, there's not a lot of people that have 9,500 sitting liquid in a bank, just sitting in a bank account, but the banks, right? 9,500 just sitting there in a bank. No, it's very rare. At 95, but at 29K, I would say that there is maybe some people that have $3,000 sitting in a bank, right? And when I think about DCAing into the crisis, which is my 2026 thesis, I don't think I'll DCA 9,500, like 10% of a Bitcoin into it. To a certain degree, I think 10% of a Bitcoin has gotten away from most people. Unless you are incredibly wealthy and you have a lot of liquidity in your bank, 9,500 is pretty. Well, we got some old schoolers here. We got some Alex Crypto, Army Piper. We got a whole chorus of technical astrologists on the panel tonight. And Alex Crypto is Canadian. Alex, we need to get a plan to get out of Canada. I know you're in Alberta now, which you like. What in your? We're going to talk a little bit about Alex Crypto right now. He made a move, I believe, from like Ontario to Alberta. Now, in his simulation, I'm not sure he factored, Alberta becoming, not the 51st state, but a sovereign nation with like more oil than Venezuela enter target on Alberta, right? But what an amazing synchronicity, though, to, make a move like that from Ontario 3 provinces over. And then the province you move to actually gets the hell out of Canada and takes all the oil with it. Like, people don't know how much Alberta subsidizes Canada. Well, I guess maybe people do. I don't know. Because like I live in Manitoba and our GDP is basically dream catchers and I don't know, maple syrup in 2 weeks of the winter and maybe some herbal mosquito repellent in the summer. That's what Manitoba produces. Maybe some potash. If we're really, actually, there's some uranium too. There's some uranium, but unfortunately, we have unremarkable retards that are managing the resources of Manitoba, and they're government retards, so they don't. They're not good capital allocators as much as people think. People with no experience in business can be great capital allocators. They're not. I know, it's weird. Like, what do you mean? You've never had a job or a business and you're not good at allocating the proper amounts of capital into finite precious resources? You don't know that? Well, surely you are put into a position like that because you have no? You don't have experience doing that, but yet you're in charge of it? That is interesting. But, that's what happens with government anyway, right? So anyway, kudos to you for that unbelievable move into Alberta. Plus, what people don't really realize is that Alberta is like Switzerland, kind of. Maybe you do know this, but like if you go to Banff, it's like, you remember when Homer dreamed of Chocolate Land? Chocolate Land. That's kind of like Banff. Like all the houses are almost look like those Polish dolls that you take one and there's one smaller and you take it, it's endless like that, right? That's what Banff looks like. And it's surrounded by mountains. And every time I go there, it's been a while, I have like a life-changing epiphany because I think, wait a second, this is 12 hours away from where I live. And what the hell? What the hell am I doing in Winnipeg when this exists 12 hours away? It's unbelievable. Like when you drive up to the mountains, it's a sight to behold. Like it's a very humbling experience because to me, I've never been to Egypt or seen the pyramids, but I've spent years going down wormholes. Why did that happen? How did they do it? Who did it? What was the reason? What do they do there now? How long have they been here? Are they just renters or what? You know what I mean? I've been down that wormhole every 18 months. I take a month out and go down there. Alex of Crypto lives in the mountains. It's a spiritual experience every day. No doubt. No doubt. That's what I mean. Like there's a humbling aspect to it, because although I don't know how big the pyramids are to sit there and look up at them, right? When you drive into the mountains and you see how fucking big they are and vast and endless, it's a very humbling experience, and it puts you into a different state of mind. You know, you start questioning your whole life. What the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing with these mountains here? Anyway, because here's the thing. Once Alberta does leave, Alberta's going to have their own immigration problem too, because everyone's going to want to go there, right? Everyone's going to want to play on the good-looking captain of the football team, quarterback's team. And that's what Alberta will be when it comes to resources, everything. Now, I don't know. But here's the loophole. The people in charge, James on random, Alberta's new flag will have the middle finger on it. Yeah, no doubt, eh? The only problem we have with what's going to happen with Alberta is that it will be done with unremarkable, retarded government officials, and they can't do anything right. It's just not in the playbook, right? Now, one of my reasons why I think they can't do anything right is they're purposely misled down, the wrong path. And then they're the fall guy. They're the patsy. They're just explained what you have to do. And even if they have pushback, it's like, well, that doesn't really make sense because, that's not going to work out well for, the constituents, right? It's like, well, how about we show the constituents all the websites you used to look at in your 30s? How about we show your constituents that? That probably wouldn't be good for, okay. All right, I'll do this. And that's what we're going to see. So I'm optimistic because I think it'll be, now we're getting really into the Canadian weeds here. When it comes to what's happening, this is all by design, right? So a lot of people, the boomers, everything is begged for, right? So when Mark Carney came here, some unelected central banker, just kind of like, da-da-da-da, I'm here. And all the boomers were like, this is amazing. This is unbelievable. We have a central banker. What's a central banker? I don't know, but it's just, it's unbelievable. Look at these elbows. This is by design to destroy Canada. So like I said a couple of days ago, Canada is the bimbo monkey in the middle of World War III. Like, it's a powerful nation because of its resources, and it's wanted. It's not a want. Like, they don't want Canada because just like they're power hungry, they need it in order to move into the future, because these people are intergenerational. They don't think like 10 years. They're thinking 4 generations out here. We're going to need all these natural resources and these minerals and these rare earths. And so we need it. So it's going to happen. It's not just a want, it's a need, right? It's either going to be the States takes it or China takes it. And it's funny because you see all the elbows who like, if you ask them about China 1 week ago, they will be like, oh, China's a communist regime. It's the worst, and the Cultural Revolution, and oh my God, right? But today, seeing as though Mark Carney went there, they're like, China, take my elbows. Please, please, please take my elbows.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share the